he said he was still at work, but the show must go on. We got KK tonight. Hey, let me. Oh man, I ain't get my other ones. Yo, 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 check it out. We live tonight. We're gonna go ahead and run this commercial from our sponsors. We got a good show tonight. We doing a little something. We doing a little remote show, but the show must go on. We're gonna bring Mr. Flowers in on
Oh no. Well, I am the guest on this episode. I am KK, as you can see here. And I'm guessing James will be back with us shortly. In the meantime, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, KMarkelle. That's KMarkelle. And you can also check me out on YouTube. My show is called Waiting to Inhale. Also, you can look up K Markelle on YouTube as well. And that's basically a show where I talk about cannabis and cannabis culture, cannabis experience, how to use different products, unboxings, and things like that. So check me out. And I guess we will wait for James together. If you don't already see it across the bottom here, you see the @. Go ahead and follow. Go ahead and Cash App for the man that is working so hard to bring you these productions. I am grateful to be on the show today. So it seems to be an interesting topic, an interesting question. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. And here goes James.
Tell them a little bit about yourself. Tell them a little bit
Yes,
about yourself while we working out some of these technical difficulties.
So as I was just letting them know, I have a YouTube channel where I basically discuss cannabis, all types of it. So from CBD to actual marijuana to dabs, and then concentrates and all those things. And soon we'll be discussing mushrooms on the channel as well and getting into that. So that's going to be exciting. And outside of that, I also I help people with their social media and their content and marketing and just their branding. And then for my 9-to-5 job, I am a project manager at a small tech company. And I'm a lesbian, so that's why I'm on the show today.
So, we gonna jump right in. Usually I roll a commercial and everything. And you a lesbian, okay. You a lesbian stud or you just a lesbian?
Well, in my community, we don't call them lesbian studs.
What is your definition? Like, what do you classify yourself? You a stud or you a skim? Okay. Okay.
So typically, I would just refer to myself as a lesbian, just a blanket lesbian. But for the sake of helping other people understand it, I guess I typically just let people know I'm a stem or a soft stem or soft stud or whatever. But basically, I'm just a lesbian. I'm a woman, particularly a Black woman that likes and is attracted to other Black women. And most of my partners tend to be a bit more feminine than me. But for the most part, I think I have a great balance of just being an all-around lesbian.
Okay. And I just want to, we got that description out there. I want to also tell the viewers tonight we doing something remote. Mr. Flowers going to be chiming in and everything. The show ain't like it usually is, so bear with us. What we're going to do, we're going to run this back, all right? Because I know we have some technical difficulties right now. We're trying to do something new. I'm traveling myself, so we ain't in the store right now, but we're going to run this one back. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to jump right into the topic. We're not going to waste no time because, like I said, I got some slow internet over here, and we're trying to work it out. So let's just dig right into it. The question is, is studs lesbians? Because she said it's redundant. It's not a stud or a lesbian. Is that the new? And the reason why I ask that is because we see a lot of studs in particular, dressing like men, taking on the role as men, and we know that um a lot of men in the black community have fell off. Let's just keep it real. A lot of them is not stepping up to the plate, and doing the things they need to do. Um, and not really leaders, but a lot of us is. Let's keep that real. So, we have this whole debate and debacle on how, black men is not qualified to be with high level women. But now we seeing, women take other women. I shouldn't say take, but be with other women. They're choosing other women to be with them because they're providers. They're providing support. They're providing love, care. They're doing all the things brothers should do. And it's like, okay, maybe they had some bad experience with or whatnot, and it's gonna, go the other route. But we're seeing this more and more. So that's why I wanted to do this show, because it's not like it's just a small niche. I was just in a restaurant yesterday, and I seen three couples that was lesbian, and I'm like, man, you know, it's a lot of women out here that want to get married. Are they thinking in the back of their mind, like, what, if it's working with these guys, then they may meet a real flossy, real saucy female stud that kind of resembles the man that they want, and decide to go that route. What you think about that, KK?
I think that was a lot. So that's a lot of different points you made right there. But I think some of the issues you're pointing out have nothing to do with each other. Like women that are lesbians or studs that dress a certain way has no bearing on them wanting to be a man. And on the same token, women wanting to be with other women that happen to look masculine or wear men's clothing doesn't mean that a man did something to them or a man isn't stepping up, so they chose a woman. Because there's a lot of women out there that are feminine, that like masculine women, that don't want anything to do with men, have never dated a man. So it's not like they're leaving men in the sense of, let me find this masculine being. So I think some of these things are being conflated and like put together, but they're kind of like their own separate topics. Hopefully I didn't lose James there. He looks like he's stuck in the same position. So either what I said was that stunning, or we might have lost him. It looks like we lost him. Well, folks, I guess I am your residential friendly neighborhood lesbian for the evening. So if you have any opinions or topics or anything you want to discuss with this evening, or any 2 cents you want to put in, you'll see the phone number scrolling down below here. Go ahead and call in, drop a comment on whatever you're watching on, and go ahead and follow me on Instagram at kmarkel. I wonder if I can smoke on here. Y'all think I could smoke on here? Is that a thing? I'm gonna ask the host when he comes back. I wish there were comments or something. And if there's anyone out there watching, let me just remind you, I am just one lesbian. I do not speak for the entire community. So my opinions are my opinions. Keep that in mind. By the way, Serena Williams, she's retiring. And this is her last tournament. Are we all excited or are we excited? Are y'all gonna be watching tomorrow? I'm definitely tuning in. So make sure y'all tune in to see Serena in round 2 of the US Open. We gotta support our girl. This is currently her last tournament. That's big. Oh, got a question here. So if not related, then why do lesbians rock dildos in their pants while they are out? I don't know the rest of that. Again, I can't speak for others, but I don't do that. I think there's a very, 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 very small, select, like extremely small amount of lesbian women that do and have wear their dildo out. And my guess is typically because they plan on using it, and that's why they have it on. Me personally, I like to keep it in a nice little bag that is sanitary and keep it in my nightstand, but that's just me. So that would be why they probably do that. But again, I don't think that has anything to do with a man. Like that might be having to do with maybe how they see themselves or their own gender identity issues, but that's not necessarily indicative of all lesbians that are masculine want to be men. Oh yeah, I figured that's what you meant. But yeah, that's basically why I think some of them do it because it makes them feel powerful or sexy or whatever, or maybe because they intend on using it with their girl and they know their girl likes it. It's not my ministry, but to each their own. And again, that's like a very, 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 very slim amount of studs that do that. Like very small. It's not often. So I don't want you thinking that's a thing. That's really not a thing. But yes, do studs and masculine women, masculine presenting women dress similar to men? Yes. Like from society standards of what masculinity is dressed like, then yes. But that doesn't mean they want to be men just because they wear similar clothing as men.
I got you. Can you hear me good right now?
Yes.
Okay, I had to switch up this computer. I don't know what's wrong with it, but we had to go to the phone. But I just want to say to the viewers, my apologies. We're trying something different tonight because when we traveling, Mr. Flowers and I, we're in different places right now. So we we're trying this thing out. So bear with us. We're gonna keep the show going like this here. So I do apologize. I did miss a lot of what you said because this computer over here is froze. But I jumped back
Go
in.
to the next question.
Yeah, we finna move on. Okay, but I know you were still doing your thing. So
my point was made.
The co-host is Mr. Flowers, by the way, and we finna bring him on, Mr. Flowers. If you can hit that link, or I'm gonna try to if you can call in, Mr. Flowers, call the 1-800 number.
1877 number so we can get you on so you can speak your mind, because I know you got some things you got to say on here. In the meantime, so let me ask you this. So do you think it's a situation where in the future women will be choosing, stud women to, raise families with? And I know that's already happening now, but do you see that growing in the future?
Well, yes, but it's not going to be like I'm choosing a stud over a man. It's going to be because it's legal now. There was a time where we legally couldn't do it. So how are you going to raise a family with a woman, and legally you can't come out? And now socially, more women are coming out and being okay with saying, to hell with what my family or what the church or what my current relationship is, I'm coming out. So I think as more people express their sexuality, we're going to see a lot more gayness out in the open, including gay people having families, because technology is better now. So therefore women are able to, like, same-sex couples are able to have babies at a different rate. And then people still adopt, and that's always still a thing. So people, and now their laws have become more relaxed to allow same-sex couples to, in some states, has relaxed enough so same-sex couples can foster or adopt kids. You're going to start seeing more queer people raise families, because ultimately that's what a lot of people want in life, not just gay people, but also heterosexual people. Oftentimes, I would say majority of the times, humans want to have a family.
Right. Do you think, because I feel like, it's potentially having an impact on black men in the way, black men are trying to come up. Do you think that in the future this would affect, and have an impact on the way black men do their thing and how they, struggling right now, some of them, to find suitable wives and things of that nature?
So do you think lesbians are the reason that men can't find suitable wives? Is that what the question
I
is?
wouldn't say that. I would say that
Yeah, I wouldn't think that either.
no, I wouldn't say that. I would say that from my point of view that I'm seeing a lot of women, what I'm seeing with my two eyeballs, I'm seeing a lot of women kind of go that route because they're not finding, let me say, suitable men to, continue on. Because we know it's a crisis when it comes to qualified black men. We hear it all the time. Women say that there's no good men out there and this, that, and the other. So, part of what I want to touch on this topic is because I see women start to gravitate towards other women that kind of resemble men.
So you're saying straight women, like you're
Straight
saying
women.
straight women are
Yeah,
gravitating
straight.
towards, okay.
Yeah.
Because when
I
you say
mean,
lesbians have always been around. So lesbians are going to be lesbians. So they're going to, no matter what you do as a man, there's nothing you're going to be able to do for a lesbian if she's really a lesbian, So it's like taking lesbians out of the equation, straight women that are leaving situations with men or deciding they're no longer going to be with men anymore and try women. You're saying that's the issue, right? Am I making sure we're on the same page?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm believing and what I'm seeing. I'm seeing. I think more. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm seeing. Women that resemble men hold it down and potentially are being desired potentially more than real men. And is that offensive though? Like,
it's a loaded question especially
okay.
to end it with real men, because it's like, but that lesbian, she's not trying to be a man. So to emphasize like real, like,
it is some that is trying to be. I wouldn't say trying to be men, but I mean, come on, like they resemble men, like they look like men.
But looking masculine and presenting masculine does not mean you are trying to be a man. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
got you.
For example, because if it's just clothing, right? Clothing is just like clothing. Like, it's really genderless. We put the gender labels on certain clothing, which is why
Okay.
there's brands that purposely don't do that. But when a man has like a Gucci bag on, which we know those are purses. We can call them bags and be cute if we want. Those are fucking purses. Let's stop it. But when a man wears a purse and he's got the designer belt to match, which is a bit feminine energy, and he's like, that's feminine energy, but does that mean he's trying to be a woman because he's okay with some parts of his feminine energy showing that day? Because he's doing something feminine, he has a purse on, does that mean he's now trying to be a woman?
I don't think he's trying to be a woman at that point. I don't think that's the intention. Because we actually see men that's trying to be women. I was just at the store, and there was a couple guys in the store that was, I don't know the particular term for it, but they were dressed up as women.
And they were, you might be right, they were cross-dressing. If they were gay men and they were wearing women's clothing, then they were in drag, or they were cross-dressing. And even with them, they're not trying to be women. Yes, they're imitating, or they might have a look of femininity, but most of them boys, they don't want to be girls, because if they did, they would go get the stuff to be a girl. Same thing with masculine women. Like, they're studs that don't want to be men. Otherwise, they would be on T. They would get on testosterone. They would do the things to become men. So it could just be they're comfortable with looking a certain way and wearing a certain type of clothing, and just that energy that exudes from them.
So let me get this straight. So, and I want to make sure that the audience and that everybody, by the way, we're going to run this show back in Miami.
I'll be in Miami. I'll be in Miami in a couple of weeks.
Okay, we're going to run this show back. But first and foremost, we got a caller. And we want to stay interactive. So let me see what's going on here. Hey, it's the Status Podcast. You're speaking with James Mack. Let's hear what you got to say. Give me 1 second. Let me get you in there. Hold on. I'll give you 1 second. Let me get you in there. We working hard to stay on air today. Mr. Shantae, the fantastic one. We got you, baby. Go ahead and speak. Say what you got to say. Get them questions ready.
Let me cut it down, but I got.
Okay.
And everything that they started with a great job, I did it.
KK, can you hear him? You can't hear him?
Really choppy. It's choppy.
Okay, hold on. Mr. Flowers, go ahead. You can hear him?
Yeah, it's just choppy. Like, I can hear his voice,
okay,
but
go
it's
ahead.
not, I can't understand what he's saying.
We got some. I know we got so much. I got so much going on right now, but come on with it.
Get the question from him and then just repeat it for me.
Okay. Hold on, Mr. Flowers. Hold on 1 second. KK, can you hear him?
I can hear his voice, but I can't understand the words he's saying.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
Flowers,
maybe him just tell you. You
might have to type this one in because it's not acting right tonight. We still trying to let the show go on, but you might have to type it in because she can't hear you, and now I can't hear her. Okay. Okay, he's going to type it in. So tonight, To everybody that's watching, we need y'all to type in the comments. We got to do it a little differently, but we determined to make sure the show goes on by any means necessary because we know it's serious and we want to stay consistent and all of that. But the brother finna type his comments in. I want you to go ahead and finish what you were saying.
I think I was done with my point, and then he was calling in.
Okay. Oh, so that's what I was gonna say. So when we see stud women dressed in men, well, you say clothes is genderless, but let's just say, they dress like a man. They dress like a
masculine.
Okay, they dress masculine, and they have let's just say they have the body language to accompany that. They kind of, we see them all the time. We see them and they have that swag about themselves, and you like, okay, they calling you bro and everything, and everything is what feels like what a man would be like, except for they're a woman. So they still, you say you would, and we educating the people, you would still say they're not trying to be a man?
No, that's just their display of masculinity. Just like, for example, you yourself, even you are displaying masculinity. You were taught how to be this masculine of a man. You weren't just born and you just had a certain swag, how you walk, or speak a certain way, or use specific language, or, hang out with even the certain type of men you hang out with. There's certain things you learn, like they're social. And even with masculinity, these women are performing, or they're basically imitating what they've seen from other masculine beings.
Okay.
Just like you learn all humans learn this from other humans. You just decide what you resonate with and what works for you. So a woman that is, or a girl that is raised in a house with her mom and her dad, she may gravitate towards the things her dad does, and that may be something that resonates with her. So now she grows up and she's either a tomboy or she's a lesbian. And if she was she might be a masculine presenting lesbian. So now a lot of her masculinity is built on what she saw or learned from her father or brothers or uncles or nephews or, the people around her, or even her homeboys. And same thing is if she was, she's feminine, whether she's straight or if she's just a feminine lesbian. She learned her femininity from her mother or from her sister or from her auntie or from her cousins or whoever. So it's basically what resonates with you. For some women, that masculinity resonates with them. That's what feels good to them when they express that and when that side of them is shining. It doesn't mean they don't embrace their femininity. Some don't. And that's another issue to deal with. Just like there's some men that don't embrace their femininity, and then that's an issue to deal with. But for as far as how you present and how you look, I feel like that's a part of just who you are and your personality. Like for you yourself, you present a certain way. Yes, you're a cisgender straight man, but even within that, you present differently than maybe someone down the street who, wears a lot of Jordans and sags their pants all the time and wears wife beaters as regular shirts, that's a different presentation of masculinity than your masculinity. So that's what I'm saying. You can be masculine and not want to be a man, and you can be feminine and not want to be a woman.
I mean, I've definitely seen women that's like more on the tomboy way, you know what I mean? That kind of,
and they're straight.
Right. But I'm specifically speaking about stud women that actually, want to be a man. And you say they don't want to be a man, but I disagree. I feel like they do want to be a man because they taking on that role. Like you will see them and I just feel like that. But my question is, okay, so to the women that's looking at, a potential stud woman and saying, that to her, does that resemble a man, or is she thinking that's
she know what's under them clothes. She make no mistake. She know what she getting. Like, trust me. Like, she may be attracted to how she presents her masculinity or how she looks, But make no mistake, she knows she's dealing with a woman.
Okay, so you think that's just a conscious decision, just out of I just want to try this, or is this a situation where it's not really any good men? So if that masculine woman is presenting well, then maybe I might give her a chance because these dudes ain't got it together.
I feel like if a woman is straight, there's nothing a woman is going to be able to say or do to convince her to not be straight. Now, if she has curiosities or if she's like interested in, you know, then she's more likely to try it because she's been curious about it. But women that are just straight have no curiosities. They are comfortable within their straightness. They have maybe queer friends around them, but they're not. They feel no need to try that because they're comfortable within their straightness. They're not just gonna be like, you know, I just got my hair broken again. Let me go see what this cooch tastes like. They're not doing that, you know? Like, but if a woman already has curiosities and has already, you know, kind of been wondering about that, and then maybe she hasn't been presented with options that she personally likes, then maybe she will try it. Maybe she'll be like, why have, like, if I like the masculinity on these men and these women have masculinity, I'm attracted to that. Why not try it? And then she tries it, but it ends up being something good. But does that mean that something is inherently wrong with men? No, because there's a lot of men out there, as you call them, high value men. Those are your words, not mine. But there's a lot of quality men out there that are not finding quality women. But are they finding feminine men to be with to fill that void? No, because they're straight.
Okay,
so if you're straight, you're going to stay with what you're going to stay with. You'll just keep looking for what works for you, or compromise with for what works for you, or grow into the relationship for you. So I feel like, although I understand that women in society have a more space to go between men and women and kind of test the water, so to speak, I don't think that like a straight woman who's just had her heart broken is just gonna jump ship because niggas ain't acting right. She's already. I want you
to hold that thought right there, because I want to know if it's cheating. Like, if you can have best of both worlds, then how can a man compete? I want you to hold that thought. I'm gonna come back with that. We're gonna roll this video from our sponsors real quick, and we're gonna come right back. Hold tight, yo. All right. We back. So I want to know, is it cheating? Like, cause sometimes when I engage with some studs, or I see them in the club or something, I'm like, man, like, she know what a woman wants. She can kind of resemble a man. She getting money, so she could play both sides. Like, she can work the corporate field if she in the corporate field, or she can get the advantages as a woman if she want to transform into that. And then she also can flip over to be a man, or resemble a man, or come with masculine energy. So, like, is that fair to the brothers that's really out here, really trying to find some good women, and they may potentially see, that the studs is really cleaning up around here?
I think there's a bit of underlining misogyny within that, because it's the assumption that you have to, and I'm just gonna, and not saying you're misogynist, but it's like the assumption that you're competing for women. And it's like, you're not competing for women. Like, you're doing these, like, you're being a better human for yourself. You're not competing against other women, just like you're not competing against other men. Because who's to stop a high value man from walking in the room, and now you're competing with him? So to think that you're competing with masculine women for these straight women that are a little confused is a little bit like unrealistic. You're more so competing with other men.
So where does the so in this scenario, where does the stud fit in at?
What do you mean?
So you say we just really competing with men. We not even competing with, you know, the stud woman, or are you saying are we grouping those into the men section as well?
No, like your bigger competition is other men. Like your biggest when it comes to dating straight women, your biggest competition is other men. It's not, and unfortunately it's not even just men. It's the men that present as high value and present as being alpha, whatever that term, whatever, you know, you want, whatever connotations you want to hold to that term. But those are that are present as that, but then also but actually exhibit feminine traits, meaning like they abuse power, or they are catty and argumentative with women, but yet they present as masculine. So you're more so competing with other men. That's what I'm saying. Masculine women are really not they really shouldn't be your biggest concern. Like, yes, you see more masculine women in what looks like to be a role of a man, but it's really just a masculine role that we've in society have put on. Because when you see two parents together, whether they're feminine or masculine, like, it doesn't mean because there's a masculine parent and a feminine woman, oh, she's trying to be the dad. Well, yes, she's masculine, but why can't she be trying to be a mom? It's just masculine.
I mean, that's what it looked like. So, you know, that's why I really wanted you to have you on the show. You know, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna run this one back because people, I'm learning. You know, you need to understand, because when I'm in public and I see that, I'm like, okay, she's trying to be a man. You know what I mean? Like,
but just because she's masculine and she's a parent doesn't mean she's trying to be a father. You get what I'm saying? Like, she could just be trying to be a parent.
Okay. I think
we're getting hung up on the presentation of she looks masculine, she looks like a man, she looks like this, and it's like, what is it like? Are we all like, are all women supposed to wear dresses? Like, would that be more comfortable for everyone else if she were presenting feminine?
Okay, so then what is the ideal of being, you know, stud women being want to be identified as a man? So when you greet them and when you come to them, they like, no, call me, you know, bro, or like, you know what I mean? Like, some of them is like that, like, no, you know what I mean? I'm the homie. Like, I'm confused.
But I even call my homegirls my homies. I don't think that means they want to be a man, because they don't want you to be calling them, like, I think sometimes men have, especially when they, and this is not, it goes both ways, but sometimes there's like this, and I've seen it even with myself, and I'm not even like the most masculine woman, but I've seen men like puff up their chest around me to prove their masculinity, and it goes vice versa. There's some studs that do that as well, but I feel like some men purposely do this thing where they be trying to call you sweetheart or sweetie, and it's like,
I'm glad you brought that up.
If I was a nigga, address me like I was just a regular nigga in the room. Like, don't address me like, oh yes, sweetheart, or okay, honey, and things like that. And it's like, I don't even know you like that, so why are you speaking? And sometimes there's that assertiveness there. So for a woman, a masculine woman, to be like, oh, what's up, bro, and back you up, what do you want her to do? You want her to give you a loose handshake and be feminine and dainty? Like, I don't know. Like, if she's masculine, she's going to present masculine. She might be a little bit more aggressive. Like,
this is a tricky subject right here, and that's why I really wanted to address it, because I'm like, you know, I'm kind of, I must say I'm kind of confused and still learning about this situation, because you saying like, okay, when you present as masculine, then treat you as such, but also know that you're a woman? Is that what you're saying? Because I mean, some of them just really is not feeling being a woman anymore, or you
But
approaching them
what
like
makes
this.
you? But I think
Okay.
that's the idea of how are you approaching women that is just so different than like. I think you could just approach a person just as a human without bringing their gender into it or reminding them, like having to remind them, oh, you're a woman, so I'm going to treat you like a woman versus like how you treat men. Like, I think oftentimes we like, especially masculine women, we just want you to treat us like you would any human. Like, you don't have to make a big deal or keep reminding me that I'm a woman. I know I'm a woman, you know?
So you saying don't come with the softness, but don't come with the hardness. You got to find somewhere in the middle to, you know.
Yeah, just don't be weird. That's really just it. Don't be weird. Don't have preconceived notions of, oh, she's masculine, let me do this. And it's like, no, she's just human. How, if it was just a regular guy on the street, would you be weird? Or would you, if, for example, holding the door for somebody, right? If you saw a brother walk in and he's right behind you, you wouldn't let the door just slam in his face, would you? Like, you would be like, oh, shoot, I'm coming in too, let me hold it up, you know, like push the door open so he can get through too. Or is it like, nah, fuck him because he's a man?
But I'm saying I see a lot of stud women that, you know, take the presenting of, you know, kind of like the masculinity to the next level. So when you're in a situation where you're around women and stuff like that, or, you know, it's a group setting or something like that, I've seen personally them kind of put on that extra, like, you know what I mean, like body language and extra kind of like thing to let you kind of know like they're a guy. Like,
well, no, it's not. I don't think it's they're trying to be a guy. I think you're seeing a hardness that comes with that, and that could be a layer of protection, and that could be, you know, their own. Okay, people have tried me before, so I'm gonna make sure I have this exterior look of don't try me, don't fuck with me. Similar to someone who might be a thug or a gangster or whatever, and they might be in a setting where they're not used to actually being able to let their guard down. They might have that little don't fuck with me look on, or that toughness, right, to let you know, don't, like, that's a guard of don't fuck with me, you know? And there's women that will put that on, you know, if they're in public, or if they feel like someone might try them, they might, you know, get puff up and be, you know, harder, put on that hard exterior. But that doesn't mean, again, that she wants, like, because you have to remember, we're in our Lord of Beyonce's year of 2022. If someone wants to change their gender or their sex, they can do it. So if all she's doing is wearing clothes and getting a fade and wearing a dildo, she don't want to be no man. She's just a dyke.
Oh, I don't know, KK. I mean, that's your opinion. Okay, we gotta check in with my co-host, Mr. Flowers. He had to type in. He had to type in. So he say, so if it's not related, then why do lesbians rock dildos in their pants while they are out?
We already talked about that, and that's just a.
Oh, I'm late on that.
Yeah, you late on that, but we can still touch on that topic again if you want. But
let's touch on it again. You know, I need to hear this one, because I've always wondered that too. Like, if you're not trying to be, if you're not trying to be a man, then why would you do that? Can
I ask you a question first before I answer that?
Okay.
How many studs do you actually know that do that? Like, although you've heard of that, how many women do you actually know that do that? And then I'm going to answer your question.
I can't say I honestly, like, with my two naked eyeballs, actually seen it before. But exactly. I definitely done heard it. I done heard lesbians talking about it, like somebody went to the club like that. But I haven't, with my two eyeballs, seen it. And
that's my first point.
It ain't something I want to see anyway.
But that's my first point, is that it does not happen as often as people make it seem. And the very few, small percentage of women that are studs that do that, they're probably doing it for the same reason men go out to the club with condoms in their pocket. Hopefully they have condoms in their pocket. It's because they trying to fuck on something. So they're not trying to go get it in the book bag. They're not trying to go to the car and grab it. They're not trying to go back to the house and get it. They want some freaky shit. Is it a little weird? It is. Would I do it? I don't. It's not my ministry. However, that's probably why she's doing it, because she plans on using it. And there's some girl that probably likes it. That's probably why she's doing
you don't think that is a subconscious thing where that adds a little bit more of I'm a man into her feeling, into her, you know what I mean, into her repertoire?
I don't think she's gonna feel like a man, but I feel like it's definitely gonna give her a little sense of power, or make her feel like, you know, give her a masculine charge, because shit, she probably about to fuck on something. Like she's ready. Like she's about to drill something. So of course she's gonna have like that extra, like, that's just like if you know, like the girl just called you and you know you about to get some cheeks. Are you not feeling a little bit, you know, you don't got a little extra steez in your walk if you know when you know you about to, you know? So that's probably what that feeling is. But does she now think I am a man? No. Now, if she's walking around wearing a packer or something where she can stand up and pee in, she might be transgender. And
a packer? What's that?
That's basically like, it's basically like a soft, like a flaccid penis that you wear. It's a prosthesis. So instead of having a strap, it's literally a dick, but it's softer. So that way it's typically used for trans people to wear it, or people that have had an injury and no longer have it, you know?
Oh, wow. Hey, y'all, we got KK on the show today. She's giving us some news, and she's helping us understand something that some of us don't understand, like myself, you know. And the title of the show today is, you know, is Lesbian Studs, and I did that the wrong way. She corrected me on that. So is studs, you know, the new black men, you know, because we see them every day, and they, you know, some of them got some dime pieces with them. They riding good, they living good, you know. A lot of them is a lot of women nowadays are sitting back kind of like, I wonder, you know, is that the new move, you know, because these dudes out here, so they say, ain't really on nothing or ain't really on their level. So if you working in corporate America and you know, tend to get a liking for a stud that's working in corporate America, is that the route you going? You know, is that a better situation for you? That's the questions we asking. So I got a question, and I think that I wanna make sure I get my co-host in. Okay, he did just say, so I might be late on this one, but he said that's because she wants the best of both worlds.
I think that's when he was asking about, maybe that was.
And keep them comments coming, Mr. Flowers, because you know you always, when we running back in Miami, though, we gonna do it the right way. But the show must go on. We got to keep it rolling every week. So, is they getting the best of both worlds? That's a good question.
I think that depends on what, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for and what that woman is looking for. If she's looking for like a balance, like some, and again, there's toxic. Just like there's men with toxic masculinity, there's women with toxic masculinity. So if she finds a stud that is not toxic, doesn't have a toxic masculine mentality, but finds a stud that balances her masculine and feminine energy, then she actually probably is getting the best of both worlds. Like, she gets to eat cooch and bump cooch, but she also gets to get dick down if she wants. Like, I would say that's best of both worlds scenario. Like, she got somebody who's gonna like probably quote unquote protect or provide, but then she's got somebody who understands, like, you know, what PMSing feels like or something, you know? So it's like, it could be a best of both worlds if that's the two worlds that she likes. But, you know, there's definitely some benefits.
So that potentially could be a threat to the black man, right? Because we see
it's a threat to the black man, though. I think that's the wrong way of looking at it. It's not a threat to the black man at all, because for one, on a romantic side, on like a sexual side of men trying to go at women, like like it's the small percentage of straight women that can be turned out by a lesbian. So therefore, that's not a threat to you. And then on the flip side of that, having a masculine homegirl is a big benefit for you, because you get the best of both worlds. You get the benefit of having a non-sexual relationship with a woman who can kind of give you some feminine perspective sometimes, and maybe check you in a way that a man couldn't, or that you might trust or get certain nurturing from her that you wouldn't from a man. But yet she's masculine enough to understand maybe how to, what it's like to be with a woman. Like, so you can like share certain things with her that you probably wouldn't tell a homeboy, or just get certain perspectives from her you wouldn't. So I really don't think lesbians, studs, are a threat to men at all, especially straight black men. I don't think we're a threat to y'all. If anything, we could be a benefit to you. Now,
so one of my concerns is that the government, Caucasian males, is weaponizing the stud, right? Because we see them. They already they already have the situation with black men, right? They're already trying to, in corporate America, you get these type of situations where they ain't, allowing you to really move up and all that. And we know they don't really have that same threat alert or that same threat analysis when it comes to black women, right? So for them, we see how. No, go ahead. I want you to address it. If you feel it, go ahead and address it.
I'm telling, and if we're going the route of our masculine black women have their own shit to deal with. If you think black men are oppressed and you recognize black women are oppressed, imagine the oppression that a black masculine woman gets. Because now it's like, yes, you're a woman, so you might get the oppressions of women, but now you're a woman that I can't have sex with, so now I'm gonna disrespect you more. At least with a feminine woman, there's always sometimes in the back of a man's mind, like, ooh, okay, like, how can she benefit me? But when presented with a masculine woman, a lot of times some men will automatically be like, fuck her, because I can't fuck her, or fuck her because she's my competition now. So it's like, I don't think, even in a corporate world, I don't think, again, masculine black women are your enemy at all right there.
But we see how, different organizations, the government, some organ, we see how they're, lifting them up over the black men. Or is that something I'm just...
Can you give me an example?
Okay,
because I'm curious as to the masculine presenting.
So let's go with the young lady that's from Haiti that speaks for the White House, right? They had to really, push her status out there that she's, lesbian, and
but she's not a stud.
How do we? She not a stud? She looked like one.
Just because she's not as feminine as you would expect her to be, I wouldn't consider her a stud. She's just not. She's just not girly, and I think oftentimes sometimes society wants women to be a certain level of femininity or girliness for comfortability. But she's not a stud by any means. If anything, she dresses like Hillary Clinton, and we never called her a masculine presenting woman. Like, I think she's a bit tomboyish, but I wouldn't call that woman a stud. And even if she were a stud, that doesn't mean she took a job from a man. Just because she's on TV, that's just representation. Masculine gay women exist, correct? So what's wrong with them being on TV?
Yeah, I don't think she took no job from a man, but I think that the agenda is to definitely try to eliminate the black man and potentially replace that with the lesbian stud, because it's not really.
Wait, I'm not understanding.
Okay.
Why? How are they weaponized? Like, why? Why'd you bring her up? How does that fit into the piece?
Because there has to be some representation of black men in corporate America, in the government, in the streets, right? But and this is just my political political thought because it's an attack on black men. You know, that's a replacement, from my view, for the lack of black men. So you will see them, steady pushing the agenda that, and I think it's a subconscious thing for women.
Wait, we're talking about the press secretary, right? The brown, the dark skinned woman with the short hair. But that's what I think I'm not understanding. Why does her specifically, like, I think that's why I'm missing the point.
Not her specifically. I'm just saying, like, in general, we see the agenda being pushed to allow, or to kind of like, from my perspective, replace the black men with the masculine black woman.
I think that's what I'm asking. How are y'all being replaced? Because
she
didn't replace
more power
that job. Because, for example, that job that she's in, she didn't replace a black man. A white woman is usually in that position. It's usually a white woman.
Yeah.
So
no, she didn't.
That's what I'm understanding. Like, can you give me an example of where a black woman, like a masculine presenting black woman, replaced a man? She didn't
replace a black man. But when have you ever seen a black man in that position?
When have you seen a black person in that position?
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's what I'm saying. So was a black man supposed to get it first in order to prove?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that.
So it's like someone has. That's what I'm saying. Someone had to get it first. So what's wrong with it being a woman and she happens to be gay? Do you think they purposely was like, go find me a black woman. Go find me a black woman that eats coochie right now and put her in position. No, I think that woman went to school. She's a journalist. She did everything she had to do to get in position, and she just so happened to be a black woman from Haiti who's a lesbian, who's a little bit more masculine than what we're used to seeing on the press screen. But I don't think they put her in place to be like, see how we're trying to erase black men? Because there's hardly ever black people in position to speak for the White House. Like, she's a press secretary. Like, that's kind of big. So it's like, she didn't replace a black man though. So I think if anything, it just gave us a little bit more inclusivity. Like, if anything, you should see that as a good sign, not a bad sign for black men either. Like, that should be a good sign for black men. Like, when the black women rises, we all gonna rise.
That's the point. That is the point. Are we? Because, like I said,
if we put more resources, we as in black people. When I talk about we, I'm not talking about them. But if we put more effort and more resources into building black girls first, that become the black women of our community, it would also benefit the men. You can love on a black woman or a black girl and not take any love from a black boy or black man. So I think that's the thing. It's like, you can do both at the same time. So I think, yes, to my point, yes, when the black girl and woman rises in our community, we will all rise.
I disagree, because I think that everything that's being presented these days, and all the funding and a lot of the opportunities is kind of being targeted towards women, towards black women. A lot of the grants these days is for black women to start business, and it's like, I'm sitting back and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, I see what's going on from my perspective. So,
would you rather they didn't do that then for black women?
No, I'm not gonna say that. No, I'm not gonna say that. I guess I just see the attack angle on the black men. Let me say that, And we talk.
And I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I definitely agree that does exist, but that doesn't mean that black masculine women are the pain point for it.
Hey, if anybody out there want to comment, we need some more comments. Come on, get some more comments in here. But I want to ask one thing, because Mr. Flowers on a previous show said something, and it's interesting that we're talking about this comment. I mean, this subject right now. He said, women. He said women are raising women to be men, and men are raising boys to be women. Any thoughts on that?
Without any context, I'm guessing like he's talking about single parent. Is he talking about like single parent homes and what happens in single parent homes?
Similar, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think in single parent homes, there's, you know, there could always be help. Like that's why almost every species you have to have two entities to create an offspring, because having two helps that offspring and with the balance of life and whatever they need, right? Do I think it's difficult do I think we, as in our Black people, are we harder on girls oftentimes? Absolutely, more than boys, for sure. Instead of maybe putting more accountability on boys, and instead of like saying, oh, boys will be boys, let the boys do what they're going to do, and kind of like pacifying them and giving them like more space to do what they want, and then being hard on girls, like telling them, hey, don't dress a certain way, don't be out at a certain time, don't put your drink down, don't be promiscuous, and all these things. Like there's definitely more of a level of trying to protect girls and keep them from being fast, like basically like policing girls, like Black girls' behavior more so than there are with boys. Yeah, I do agree with that. Like Black women, we're raised hard as a means to protect us, quote unquote.
Right. And with that being said, I want to go back and touch on another situation you said, and it really kind of I've been wondering about it, right? So you said that you know, it could be a lesbian situation where, you know, it's a party or a get together, whatever, and you know, they kind of put on more of the masculine, you know, act because they want to let guys know don't try them, right? So once again, I see that going on, but is that something that's happening on a regular basis? Because you said something like guys will try to come to you with the sweet talk. Do you feel like they're trying to flip you or turn you out or whatever the case may be in certain situations?
I think it depends. Like there's some men that will do that, and there's some men that won't. Like, for example, me personally, I've been around a guy that kept like persistently hit on me, and he knew what was up. Like I would tell him, other people around him, my lifestyle, everything about how I am lets you know I'm not cool with this, and I would let him know that. But he, in his mind, he thought it was, you still a woman, I could say what I want, do what I want. So he would continue to hit on me to a point where I had to tell a homeboy of mine, watch the situation, right? Because we're in like a work outing. So I told him, just peep game, you know, watch how this night goes on. And he watched, and he was embarrassed himself to the point where he said something to the guy. He's like, why you keep being weird? You making it weird. Like, why you keep hitting on her? Like you're making it weird now. Like you look like a predator, a creep now. So I've been in situations where that's the case, where it's just like a man has seen me and decided that I'm going to remind her she's a woman, whatever that means. Or she's still a woman, so I can, whatever. Or maybe because he's been with a masculine woman before, because he's been with a woman that said she was gay, he thinks that, well, that means I can fuck any woman. I don't care what she says, no matter what she says. I've been in that situation. But then I've also been out with, a homegirl of mine that's a stud or more way more masculine than me, and I've seen her like kind of put that extra on, and it's just like I've seen that as well too.
Right, and that's we gonna
each one's both are toxic masculinity at the end of the day. Neither one is correct. They're both wrong.
Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. So you're saying that's wrong for them to act like that?
For a man to persistently hit on a woman who's already let him know, or to like try to and remind a woman of her femininity or her womanness because he feels like he should. That's his, like, he's supposed to remind her. Yes, that's wrong. And for masculine presenting women to exhibit toxic masculinity, yes, that's very wrong.
I got you. This is absolutely interesting, and I don't think we doing this.
We got some chats in here.
Okay, read them off because they ain't updated on my. Oh, yes, they is. Let me see what's going on. We gonna have to. Okay. All right, let me see what Mr. Let me see. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, he's saying the generation of alpha females and beta males. Yeah, again, that doesn't wholly. An alpha female doesn't mean she's gay. Like, doesn't mean she's a stud. So if we're talking about masculine women in general, even the straight women that are masculine, I can't necessarily speak for them and why they move the way they move.
That's
I think that's a kind of I think that's his own separate topic outside of masculine women being the new black man, which I don't think is true. I think the new black man's biggest threat is black men that exhibit toxic and feminine toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. I think that is the biggest threat to black men and black people as a whole.
What is toxic? You said a man exhibiting toxic femininity?
Yeah, because do you agree everyone energy, you have to have a plus and minus in energy, a positive and negative energy, correct?
Yeah.
And everything has positive and negative, correct? So you, James, you are masculine presenting, you are a man, but you do have feminine qualities, do you not? Like, you have to be able to balance your masculine and feminine energy.
Yeah, I on some furrow talk, on some secret science talk, I understand that completely.
Exactly. So we all have it. It's a matter of balancing it in what you exhibit, right? So for a man to have toxic femininity, that's being catty, that's being argumentative, being gossiping. There's men that do that. Are there not?
Yes, absolutely.
That's feminine behavior. That's toxic femininity.
I don't know about catty. I don't like, what is catty?
Back and forth with arguing. Why are you arguing like that? Even if it's this, what is all of that about? What is all of this about?
Okay.
Especially when it comes to doing it with women, because now you're stepping in a feminine space with a feminine being, and now you're exhibiting your toxic femininity. Of course she gonna argue back. Of course she gonna argue back with you. That's what we do. So doing all that catty, argumentative stuff with a woman, that's feminine behavior. That's toxic feminine behavior. Not just women do it. When women do it, it's toxic femininity as well. And when men do it, it's toxic femininity.
So what's the toxic masculinity?
I feel like toxic masculinity is unnecessary competitiveness, like particularly for women or for pussy. So unnecessary competitiveness, abuse of power. So knowing you're in a powerful position and abusing that to get what you want out of a child, a woman, or even a lesser man. Being unnecessarily violent. Like, I feel like that's toxic masculinity. Being controlling. And those are things that women also can exhibit as well.
Right, that's what I was going to ask.
There's women that are controlling. They might get violent, but that's their toxic masculinity showing. So again, with duality in every human, because every human should have a duality and should try to become as balanced as they can within the two. There's a plus, there's a negative and a positive. You know, just like there's some positive feminine traits that a man might exhibit or might get or might grow into. There's positive masculine traits that they may have.
So what's a positive feminine trait that a man can have?
loyalty, creativity.
That's a feminine trait.
Those would be
Creativity.
those would be, I would consider those more feminine, being loyal, being creative, being nurturing, listening. Those would be more positive feminine traits. Whereas your positive masculine traits may be being protective, being a provider, being able to construct or deconstruct something, like analyzing something. Like those would be more masculine traits. Which is why, for example, sometimes a man, you'll be able to you'll be able to be in a room with your girl or something and her friends, and you analyze how things are going down, and you might see certain things and be like, oh, that ain't your friend. I saw the way she, you'd be able to analyze that situation. Whereas your girl, she might be in a room with you or somebody else and feel something and just be like, she didn't even see nothing. She might feel like that intuition, because that's a feminine trait. Intuition, the psychicness, that's femininity. She might be able to feel like, I see that he's showing you he's your friend, but I don't feel, it's something about his energy. They might feel something.
Okay. So, and I get what you're saying right there. And like I said, y'all, we're gonna run this show back because we gotta have Mr. Flowers on this thing. We gotta have our setup,
Right.
but we just want to keep this show going. We want to show y'all we consistent, and we want to keep our followers, knowing that we trying our hardest. However the case may be. And I know, like, we probably have brother Carlos call in, and that's a real spiritual brother. And I know he will probably ask you something like, what so where does religion play a part in it? You know what I mean? Because some people will say, a marriage is only supposed to be between a man and woman, or, a relationship is, between a man and woman. What would you say to that?
I'm not religious, so I wouldn't speak to that. That's not my ministry. But if we're talking about energy and spirituality, you show me where there's not masculine, feminine, positive, negative, and where there's not balance, and where energy is just energy and spirit is spirit. So as far as religion, fuck it. I don't abide by those books. I don't live by those books. I don't let religion oppress me. So therefore, I can't speak to it. Do I see how it oppresses people, and do I understand why it does it? Absolutely. But do I subscribe to that? No. Now, and even in the sense of, because I love talking to spiritual people, because I'm spiritual. So if he's however you say he is, he might be surprised at how I agree with him on certain things. For example, I think people assume that because I'm a lesbian, I feel like I don't need no man in my life. That's false. Because I understand how energy needs balance, I know I need men in my life. Do I need to fuck them? No. But do I have best friends that are men who I know there's certain things I can go to them that I can't go to my homegirls with? Or I might still go to my homegirls, but I'm going to probably go with the advice my homeboy gave me because of the energy he's bringing with it and the place he's coming from or his perspective on it. Do I need my father? Absolutely. Like, I need that masculine energy. Like, I need that love. Like, even my gay masculine homeboys, that's a masculine energy that I get to reap from and have love from, but it's not sexual. So it's like, I completely agree that men need women and women need men. Do we always have to have sexual relationships with one another or romantic relationships in order to build community? No.
That's real talk. I can't argue with that. I mean, you broke that down, and we got to address this again because I want to do you some justice and really, we get the setup. We got to run this back like right away because I know it's a lot of people that want to call in. I know some people that I know Mr. Flowers going to give you another layer to it that I can't give you right now. And I know he want to ask you some stuff and, it's probably hard to type in and stuff like that. So when you coming to Miami?
I will be there in September. Well, September is a day away. But I will be there the week of the 18th. That weekend I get in. That 18th on that Sunday I get in, and I'll be there that whole week and that weekend.
Okay. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Y'all get ready. We're gonna let y'all know today. We're gonna run this one back. We probably add a little bit of spice to it too, to the title. But we're gonna run this one back because we want to do it. I want to do it proper, but we have to keep it moving. We got to keep going. It's a good show because I learned some things that I didn't know just on here, and you done spread some news that I'm sure others can use. But it's still some things that we ain't get to touch on that we definitely need to touch on. But I need to have you in the studio, in the store, to be able to really, to really give your point of view. And like I said, for Mr. Flowers and our call-in viewers too, because nobody
Right.
can't really call in right now. So we want, people, Brother Carlos call in, the other brothers from, people that be calling in, and we're going to get some more folks to call in. So we're going to wrap this one up, but this is coming back. We're going to do a part 2 to this one. You better believe it. And we're going to do it right. Give them some information on you. Let them know where they can follow you because you're doing some interesting things. And anything you're doing, let them know right now, what it is.
Yes. So follow me on Instagram, KMarkelle, KMarkelle. And on YouTube, you can follow me at Waiting to in Hell. That's the name of my YouTube channel and my show that I do. It's a cannabis-based show. It has a bit of comedy, a bit of real life, and a bit of education in there about cannabis. And you can also follow me on Twitter. I'm not on there as much. I mostly use it for porn. I'm not going to lie. But you can follow me on Twitter, which is KMarkelle1.
Hey, Markelle, listen. We running this back. She promised us she gonna come down to Miami and be in the studio this time. We're gonna do this show again, and we're gonna do it the right way. My name is James Mack. We got Mr. Flowers. He on the other side. I'm doing a little traveling right now, so we couldn't have everything the way we need to have it. And I got some slow internet too, so we couldn't set it up the way we need to set it up. But y'all stay tuned because this is coming back. We're going to do part 2. Definitely look out for the show next week. We're going to be back in the studio, back to the way we do it. Hey, but, one thing I want to say, always stay consistent and always try to do your best because that's what matters. Stay consistent. Even when it ain't working out right, still try your best. And, that's what we do from day one. We're going to go ahead and I also want to say, y'all make sure y'all go to prosperwithjamesmack.com. And, get some real understanding behind potentially some money-making opportunities for yourself and for others. Or if you just need some, some real counseling or some real mentorship on your business, then you need to tap in. That's prosperwithjamesmack.com. We're going to go ahead and sign off, but we'll be back next week. And the week after that, we're going to have KK in the studio, and we're going to run this one back. We're going to do it the right way. It's been love, and it's been fun. We signing out. You gonna sign them out?
Nah, you got it. Your show, player.
All right, so it's all love. We'll see y'all next week.